jobs for real people.
They were told their checks has been freezed.
We don't know what the problem is. What we want from them is our salary. And up to now, they didn't say anything to us.
Tonight, what is wrong with the Ghanaian economy? With the dollar at almost 5 cedis and many businesses laying off workers. We connect businesses recently laid off workers, labor unions to government to explore. We connect after summary of the day's news.
And in the summaries, snakes have invaded homes of residents of Abono, a community near Lake Bosomtwe in the Ashanti region, forcing residents to flee their homes. Meanwhile, officials of the National Disaster Management Organization are in the community to fumigate the area. Love FM's Nana Asensu Mensah traveled with a team to Abono and now reports.
A similar occurrence was witnessed at Kwaso, Esienimpong, Onye, and other communities in the Jesu municipality in 2016. Abono is a farming community and a tourist site due to its proximity to Lake Bosomtwe. The town appeared deserted at the time the disaster team arrived, as many people had left the town for fear of attack by the snakes, though snakes are hardly sighted during the day. Nana Owusu Kwantabisa II is Benkumhene of Abono.
Snake, as Bibrika said, has been an enemy to human. Even formerly, whenever you come to my house about 7 o'clock, you will see me lying at the compound of the house on top of a full mattress. For the past 2 months, I have killed 3 of these snakes.
Love FM's Asensu Mensah filed that report. Police in the Upper West region have arrested 2 suspected highway robbers. The men are believed to be behind several attacks on passengers along the Wa-Nadoli-Lora highway. 26-year-old Issa Yusuf and 21-year-old Mohammed Ganiyu were picked up from their hideout where 5 shotguns were found. DCOP Buapia Kojoachre is regional police commander.
Yes, because even these weapons, we had them from the bush. Yes, they were hiding the weapons in the bush. So they sent the tricycle driver to go and bring them from the bush. That is why we suspect that they are operating along the Kario-Nadoli road.
Anti-corruption campaigner Vitus Azim has charged politicians to make realistic and implementable promises in their quest to capture power. He noted that although the NPP government has implemented some significant policies within 18 months, a number of the promises have not been touched, citing the enactment of the Fiscal Responsibility Law expected to pave way for establishment of a Fiscal Council and Financial Stability Council. Mr. Azim was speaking at a forum by the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition to assess the current government.
In general, a number of promises have been delivered, while others have either been partially delivered or not touched at all. However, it's clear that some of these promises have been executed. The most prominent ones being the establishment of the Office of Public Prosecutor and the reduction of taxes, though not relevant here, also the introduction of the free senior high school. Politicians must be made to make realistic and implementable promises. And even on coming into office, it has repeated most of these promises, added new ones, and assured Ghanaians of its commitment to execute them.
Vitus Azim. Officials of the Bank of Ghana have dismissed reports suggesting the Central Bank Governor, Dr. Ernest Addison, evaded most of the questions by members of Parliament's Finance Committee when he appeared before them. Member of the committee, John Jinapo, told Joy News Dr. Addison failed to provide the needed responses to their queries on the bank's collapse. But Public Relations Officer for the Central Bank, A.C. Hammond, says the committee was provided with the requisite information.
Governor would appear in this very important proceedings to provide accurate, factual information. That is what we can do. By being people saying he's being evasive, I'm not sure exactly what they mean, because we deal with the facts as they are, and that is it. And this is what he went there to do.
A.C. Hammond speaks for the central bank. Meanwhile, the committee is today or has been quizzing officials of the Securities and Exchange Commission over how monies of some of the 7 collapsed banks were moved through their sister investment firms. My name is Gifty, and Apia and Evans Mensah connects now.
Innovative financial services, providing inflation support and solutions. Customer-oriented superior services, your success our passion. Trusted innovative financial services, providing inflation support and solutions. Customer-oriented superior services, your success our passion. 10 good years of loyalty, service with integrity, protective of our Ghanaian brand. 10 years of excellence, 10 years of loyalty, your success our passion. Oh yeah, your success our passion.
Your success, our passion.
Don't come in. Hey, 10 pesos, 10 pesos. Vodafone is 10 years old and is giving you an anniversary gift of 10 times bonus and 10 pesos call rate across networks. Browse for 10 pesos per megabyte. Call Vodafone or any other network at the same rate of 10 pesos per minute. That's not all, oh. Share your scratch card with 2 more people the Kikimi style, and the 3 of you will each enjoy 10 times the value of your card. Dial *135# to subscribe. Terms and conditions apply.
The future is exciting. Ready?
Hey, Yimshi, I noticed that all the national stadia in Ghana have lasted for decades.
Oh, yes. But do you also know that the concrete bridges are also decades old?
Yes.
Only one company in Ghana can give you that guarantee, and that is Gasem.
Cement that guarantees smooth finishing of plastering.
That is the Gasem Super Rapid 32.5R. If you want to have strong blocks for any form of construction, use Gasem Super Strong 42.5R. For your time-tested bridges like the Adome, multi-story buildings, highways like the motorway, then it is Gasem Extra 42.5N.
And the good news is, all these cement products are made right here in Ghana.
Gasem, 3 cement grades, unique quality. Gasem, the nation builder.
Nationwide Medical Insurance, the leader in private health insurance, has deployed superior technology to make your healthcare experience more convenient and exciting. With the Nationwide mobile app, you can order your prescription drugs and we will deliver to your doorsteps. With over 600 dependable healthcare service providers, you're just a step away locating your service provider of choice and accessing hospital claim information in real time. Our corporate clients are guaranteed timely corporate utilization reports. We provide on-site clinics to give employees access to healthcare in the comfort of their offices. Enjoy these amazing benefits and so much more by signing on to Nationwide Medical Insurance today. Call us on toll-free number 0800-222222 or visit our website www.nationwidemh.com. Nationwide Medical Insurance. Join the healthcare family.
And you're live on Joy 99.7 FM. This is GhanaConnect. My name is Evans Mensah. Now, this week, we heard of job losses from energy firm BXC Ghana Limited, where 400 people got laid off. Then 40 dispatch riders and 50 security guards of Top Core Security also got laid off. Dr. Papakwesi Yundum's GN Media also laid off 30 people at least. Now, newly created Bank of Ghana, Baby, Consolidated Bank Ghana Limited, also laid off 1,700 workers. Now, these voices you hear, the voices of some of the sacked workers, tell a story.
We've not received our salaries, but we've been threatened by our management. It's unfortunate there has not been any effective communication apart from this morning where we had a call that we should attend a meeting. They were told their checks has been freezed, or I don't know how to term it, but...
And all your checks went through the now defunct Unibank?
Yes.
We don't know what the problem is. What we want from them is our salary. And up to now, they didn't say anything to us.
What I want to find out is that you still have your jobs, do you?
No.
You've been sacked?
Yes, and they keep giving us today is 3rd, and more time they pay us 26th, 25th, 24th, and today is 3rd. So we decided to take the motorbikes and see if they will pay us. But yes, still, they are threatening that we should bring the bikes. They will come our homes with police.
Are you contract or permanent staff?
We are permanent staffs. I would say not below 40. The average salary will be between 750 Ghana cedis. And another part of the fear is that if it should be just the logistic, then I think there's something, it has to do with something else. But it's general.
Others decided to simply hit the streets and protest.
In fact, just yesterday I heard the Labour Relations Minister say that they have employed 1 million people. None of my family members who are unemployed have had, are part of this 1 million. And I'm not too sure if you can testify, if you know anybody who has been recruited under this government. It appears to us that the political leadership of this country is only interested in creating ghost jobs. Now what we are looking out for are real jobs for real people. So in every region, we are simply saying that if you need a job, come and write your name and let us process. At the end of the day, it becomes the basis on which we will cry for jobs.
So is there something wrong with the Ghanaian economy? Are these job losses isolated or widespread? And that is where I implore you to connect with us tonight. I want to hear from you if you are a business and struggling or you're a business and thriving. I want to understand what is happening from your own point of view. We've had the experts talk this week. I want to hear you. Affected worker, affected business owner, if you've been sacked or laid off. Let us understand what it is that is happening where you are right now. Well, connecting with me in the studio, Issa Salifu and Simon. They are both dispatch riders, and this week they both lost their jobs. Thanks for connecting, gentlemen. Thank you very much. They connected in the studio. Marcel is a young man, very aggressive, entrepreneurial spirit. Does business both here in Ghana and in China, shuttles between the two countries. And the president has been in China in the last week asking for Chinese investment into Ghana. Want to understand how his business is faring in the wake of the rumors we're hearing of the difficulties that the economy is facing, plus in the wake of the cedi's amazing depreciation against the dollar. We're going to be looking at that from that point of view as well. He also employs a few people. How is he managing to keep all of them employed? We will call her Coco for purposes of today's conversation because she doesn't want her identity revealed. She was with one of the media outlets of Group Indom until recently. Hello, Coco. Thank you for connecting with us here.
Thank you for having me here.
Great. Now, Raymond Dankwa is also a businessman now. He grills pork, and something miraculous happened in his life. Exactly. Raymond the day. Something miraculous happened in your life. I think was it last Sunday. Last Sunday. The situation became so desperate that his church intervened and raised funds for him. We'll talk about that. We'll also connect later on the show to the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, labor analyst, but also most importantly, we'll connect you to authority. We'll speak to the Employment Ministry about this. We'll start on the phone lines, shall we? Let's start with Amma. Amma is a mother of two. Now, she started her own business after she and her husband lost their jobs with the Capital Bank. She joins us on the telephone line right now. Hello, Amma. Hello? Hi, Amma. Okay.
Hello, good evening.
Oh, I can hear you loud and clear. Great. Nice. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Okay, you don't sound too excited.
Well, losing your job for a year will not make you that excited. So
Yes, and
I'm just okay for now.
Yes, and I understand you started your own business.
Yes, I did.
What business?
I had to start my own business.
What business was it?
I'm into home accessories and kitchen accessories.
Great. And how is that business faring?
Well, at the moment, it's mainly through social media, so the numbers are not that great. It's a startup, so I'm hoping that with time it will become better.
What sort of feedback are you getting from the people you're targeting to sell to? Is it the feedback that there's money in the system and you're willing to spend, or what sort of feedback are you getting?
Well, most people ask me, do you have a shop? And the answer is no, I don't have a shop. For now, I need to start with a social media process. After our bank collapsed, we were expecting to get an exit pay or severance package, which was promised to us. We all knew the amount we were supposed to get. All this didn't come. If I had this money from the very day I was given a letter to go home, I believe it would have helped to push the business further. But now it's like what people are asking is, do you have a shop? They want to see the things coming in from a shop, not just through WhatsApp or other means, social media means, yeah.
Okay, so yes, the job loss happened last week, and I think from what I hear, you were with the Capital Bank?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And yeah, but you've tried to move on with your own business. I want to understand if and from what you're saying, it appears what you need is capital, correct?
Yes, capital.
Yes.
Yes.
You can't find it in the economy?
Sorry, I didn't get
I'm just wondering whether the economy hasn't provided a certain basis, a certain enabling environment that can make that available to you. Say, go to a bank,
there are no systems in place for individuals who lose their jobs. Any support system, there's nothing like that. If you are starting up a business, I mean, you have to profit everything. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing like that. So I'm aware of.
What about taking a loan to invest in the business, to let it to start and see if it grows?
I don't really believe in taking up loans. I prefer to have the money available and start.
I mean, start with your own, and then when you grow and you need it, then maybe you go for it.
Yes. But for beginning, I prefer to have something to start.
Okay. And how are the two babies doing? I mean, in the midst of the challenges.
Yeah. I have two boys. One 2 years, the other is 4 years. And we're in September. Next week, they have to go back to school. As a parent, I need to get money available to sort their fees out and other things they might need. So the situation as we speak now is not pleasant.
I see that's a clear challenge there. Yes. So for you, for where you stand, what's your? There's a conversation this week about, and this hasn't only happened in the banking sector, as you just yourself attested to. You started your own business, and that is a bit of a challenge to get it off the ground. From where you sit, having been through what you've been through, what would you put your finger on and say possibly that's the problem with the system, with the economy? And by the way, is there anything wrong with the economy from where you sit?
Yes. Looking at where I was working and the fact that I was used to receiving an income at the end of every month because I was working, then out of the blue, the shocking news comes that the bank has collapsed, where you are working and that's the source by which you are able to have a livelihood. It doesn't exist anymore. It's collapsed. Then now the question is, what next? If you don't have any plan, if you don't have anything in place, it hits you in the face, and it's really tough. I just don't want to even speak for myself. There are people out there that even don't have any business or anything they are into. They are single mothers. They are just fathers, fathering and parenting. And the question is, the system doesn't support in circumstances where you lose your job. There's nothing supporting you to start something, to be an entrepreneur, to do your own thing. There's nothing. If maybe you didn't even save by the side, maybe you had some small income to do your own, some small money to do your own thing, then your situation is worse off. Because it's like there's nothing. So I'm just wondering, what does the government, what does the people in charge, what do they expect people who have been laid off to do? It's just heartbreaking, but we are just believing God that our package will come very soon, because there are countless people out there. If you were to interview so many of ex-staff via phone, I'm sure it will be mind-blowing. But I just want to speak from the feminine side. It's tough, and we are pleading that the government should come in and give us what is due us, our S6 package. Just make it available to us so that people can start a life, start a business, employ people. As there's unemployment in the system, it can be a way that people can be employed.
Well, I'm grateful that you join us to share. Also connecting the studio is Coco. Coco, you also lost your job, correct?
Yes, sure. I did.
But yours is not related at all to the banking sector. This is in the media.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. You're with GN Media, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What were you told?
3 weeks to that fateful day, we were told. We had series of meetings, like as a new GM taking over a new company. We were told the staff or the number of the staff is too much because they have amalgamated some of the channels, like they put together some of the channels. So there ought to be some layoffs. So we were told in a staff deba that this is what is going to happen. But then we were assured that it's going to be done through our appraisals. They're going to use, based on your performance, they're going to use that to lay you off.
How many of you got laid off?
The number is running to about 50.
Okay.
Yes, because they're still counting.
Oh, so it's not done. There are more people getting laid off from GM.
After our badge, after we were laid off on that fateful day, then the following day, some people were also given their letters, and then last week too, few people also got theirs. So I don't know when it's going to end actually, but our own is a bit different from what is happening in the banking sector. Our situation, I don't know how to put it, but we are going to, or we are supposed to receive 1 month's salary in due, and that's all is due us. Even our provident fund that we have contributed, and one thing we also, or I understood, was the provident fund, after the employer is deducted, the employee is also deducted, and so the two will make up for, let's say, your 10 years that you are staying with a group. We have tier 2, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Yes, we have 3. So they deduct everything at the end of the month, and then the salary is not that. It's something just meager, and they deduct all those things. So you're like, every month you are going home with 400 cedis. Some people even end up going home with 350 cedis and all that. And if, assuming you've taken a staff loan, maybe you'll be going home with 200 cedis or 250 cedis at the end of the month. And after all that, you just say that you are going to lay us off because you have been affected by the Bank of Ghana minimum capital requirement. And if you are laying us off, then you should do the right thing. The communication we got from the GM and the communication we have as in written, there's no correlation between the two.
I mean, what you were told at the deba and what you actually got in a letter?
Yes. The letter, or the heading of the letter, states termination of appointment. And the reason was that your services are no longer needed.
And so for that matter, they are paying you 1 month's salary in lieu. And even your provident fund, that they are terminating your contract. So you are supposed to take everything. But now they are going to strike it into two, and the government will take 15% of VAT before they will give you the remaining one. And so we feel like they are kind of trying to play smart with us. We are in the same institution where the banking sector, that you stated categorically that you are doing a redundancy to the banking sector. And then the media arm, you are terminating contracts, and you are giving the banking sector what is due them, and then the media arm, you are treating them like a trash. Hell no.
So that is a story of, we had a story of Amber, who also lost her job in the banking sector, tried to start her own business, of course, struggling to make it work. This is a different story, not related to the bank, also related to the banking issues, but this is a job loss in the media. Now, there are dispatch riders who have also been affected. And I have with me Isa. Isa, how many years have you been a dispatch rider?
I've been a dispatch rider since 2011.
2011?
Yes.
Okay. And so that's what, 6-7 years?
Almost 7 years.
Almost 7 years. Yes. And all this time, have you had this challenge before?
I have series of challenges, different times.
Different times,
yeah.
But you haven't been laid off before.
No,
you
haven't been laid off before.
Now you've been sacked.
Yes.
What were you told was the reason why you were sacked?
The reason being that where I work with, Unibank has been taken over by a consolidated bank.
Okay. So what it is that you are providing services for Unibank.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a contract worker.
Okay.
With Top Core Logistics Ghana Limited.
Okay, and they provide services for Unibank?
For Unibank, yes.
Okay, so if Unibank isn't there, then your business doesn't exist? Automatically, yes, okay. Please. And so you had to go?
Yes, please.
Okay, and you came with Simon. And Simon, have you been, that your concern was that, yes, you were laid off, but you were entitled to something?
Yes.
Have you been given that?
No, please.
Okay, what were you entitled to?
We are demanding our severance package from them. Actually, it all started on Monday when they invited us to the meeting. And then they made us understand that they are withdrawing our service. And for that matter, they are not sacking us, but they are withdrawing our service, which they are trying to play smart, or let me say they are trying to play smart on our intelligence. Fine. When they made that statement, and we asked them, fine, if you people are saying you withdraw our service and that you are not sacking us, you should go home, but when you need us, you call us. What does it mean? They were not able to give us a good answer on that. Fine. Right now, we are expecting that they will give us a termination appointment letter. After that, that is when we can demand for our severance package and the rest of the essential we are expecting from them.
Okay.
They are not ready to do that.
Interesting.
They are telling us right now that you should keep on reporting to the office. When we know very well that the contract between Top Core Logistics and Unibank has been terminated. Sorry, if I should put it correct, the consolidated bank has been terminated. If the contract has been terminated, it's obvious they don't have any job for us now, which they have to provide us with our termination letter. There we can stand firmly and fight for our severance package. But they are not ready to do that.
Yeah.
They are using the 4 months to be making sure that we always report at the office.
Okay.
Okay, we should just be reporting at the office and going back home, and that they've not giving us a sack letter.
So
they are telling us right now that they withdraw our service.
How are you surviving?
Honestly, it's something else.
Are you the breadwinner for your family?
Yeah.
Or your wife chips in?
50%.
50%.
Yeah, I have a 14-year-old daughter now that I take care of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that definitely is going to take a. Have you explored what you want to do next?
For now, they are not taking us through the right procedure you are expecting. So for now, we are just laying low to make sure the issue is being resolved.
Okay.
Before we know the next step.
I'm talking about for yourself. You definitely have lost your job.
Yeah, for now.
You have mouths to feed at home.
Yeah, sure.
What is it that you plan to do?
I'm thinking of starting my own business now.
What business you plan to go into?
Oh, I would like to go into buying and exports.
buying
because
and export.
I have some few friends who are into it already.
Okay, now that's Marcel is here, and the reason why he's into buying, exporting, and importing stuff from China.
Importing and buying as well.
Buy as well. Okay, good. We'll see what he says about this. He has a different perspective on this conversation and what is really fundamentally happening. But there's in the midst of all this doom and gloom, that you can see some positives because Raymond, your story started off as it's a tragedy, correct?
It is.
And now there seems to be some light at the end of the tunnel, because probably okay, but something happened last Sunday.
Yeah.
What happened?
First of all, let me greet my pastor, Reverend Dr. Marco, and my wife, and then the whole of Living Streams. I guess they are listening to me now. 3 weeks ago, I had a call from our head pastor, that's in the person of Reverend Marco. You see, in all this that is happening, none of staffs have been cancelled. So yes, we come back with some of us are in bitterness, and then for me, it was a great discussion because he was able to counsel me. We prayed, and then I went to church on Sunday, and to my surprise, they were preparing something for me.
Okay.
So last week Sunday was when the let me say fundraising was done. But for me, the gesture alone, assuming if it was even less than 1,000, whatever the amount is, the gesture alone shows that yes, you have people standing with you.
Okay.
And for me,
so the entire church,
yes,
there was something of offering,
yes, please,
dedicated just for you,
just for me,
and everybody, the thousands of people in the church.
It was a family service, so yes.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't like the normal. You know, we normally have two churches, first and second.
Okay.
So it was a family church. Sometimes people cannot make it because we close very early.
Okay.
But it was.
It was good.
And I urged other churches to do the same.
For their people who are struggling. Okay. And
at least even the gesture alone, for you to know that people stand with you. It goes beyond the prayers we've been talking of.
Okay. I know you tried, just like Amma we spoke to earlier, when you lost your job, tried to start a business, you went to pork grilling. You got this capital last week Sunday. Are you going to...
Yes.
You don't want me to call it capital?
Oh, it is. Okay. Because actually what happens was because it is strictly delivery, I sometimes have to work with delivery guys, and then the charges for them delivering the food was becoming a problem for me.
Okay.
So I needed to find a strategy that could let me penetrate, because the other episode,
okay,
I bought a bag out of that.
Okay.
So once I deliver the food, I just take something small, like between 5 cities to 10 cities.
So you deliver yourself, or you employ somebody to do it?
I have 2 guys working with me.
Oh, now. So you've employed 2 people?
Yes.
That's good. That's fantastic. So from yourself unemployed, just a couple of months, 3 months or 4 months back, now you've become a businessman who has 2 people working for you. You pay them.
Yes, I do.
You've employed 2 people.
2 people.
That is great. That is fantastic. And they also rely on you, so you must survive.
Yes,
for these 2 people to survive.
Explain to them. You know, initially I started and the kitchen was. I operate from Labadi, but then I was looking at the operational cost. It was weighing me down, and I had about 5 people by then. So I was looking at strategy, how to...
Oh, so you had 5 people?
Yes.
What happened? You let them go?
I stopped at the moment to re-strategize, because then most of the money was going back to operational costs. You sometimes have to, so I decided to, let me start using my kitchen from my place. So the guys, because they use the bag, they don't have to pay for any transportation, because I buy food, so they just come, and then one assists with the operation, and the other guys go for the delivery, distributing the food to our customers.
So from 5 people, so you let 3 go? 2 go?
No, 3 went.
3 went.
Yeah, 2.
And you kept 2?
I kept 2.
Who now deliver the thing for you? Oh, so the 3 people lost their jobs? Just like you did just a year ago.
For them, they knew
what was happening.
So
yeah, okay.
I was just after. Initially, when I started, I was giving the food free.
No, wow.
I was taking to people for them to sample it.
Sample it before they decide.
Yes. So
wow.
I get a feedback. Okay, can you do this, do that, do that? So
then you improved.
But then I have to stop, because I became the spokesperson for UTN Capital, and which was demanding.
How is the economy treating your business? How is your business faring now?
You know, for me, I was looking at something that I have passion for, one, and something that could you could always have cash, so cash flow. And then I was looking at certain things that can be inevitable from human life.
Yeah,
and that has to do with
must always eat.
You must always eat, regardless where you find yourself.
True.
So then let me find a way out to reach to my customers. So that's what I've been doing. So the fundraising for my church has been, I think it came at the right time.
Yeah.
Because I've been able to get a bike
I've heard people. Oh, you've bought a bike from the money?
Yes.
So you have how many bikes now?
Now I have one. Initially, I was using somebody's bike.
Oh, okay. And you were paying the person for the bike?
Yes. So now I've gotten my own bike.
One bike?
Yes.
To do the deliveries?
To do the deliveries so that we subsidize it. So he delivers it within Osula, but it takes only 5 cities.
Okay.
Comes to Dansoma and takes like 10 cities.
Okay.
Normal delivery will take between 20 to 25. For deliveries within Tema, Asham, and I use external delivery guys because it will then delay other people receiving their food.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Okay, but I'm curious to know. I've heard people this week say because of the job losses that the economy is hard.
It is.
What's your own business experience now that you're doing this?
Up and down.
Okay. What are the issues?
For me, because I'm operating from my place, okay, where I sleep. People normally think you have a place, so they want to call you at certain time. So that has been the problem.
Okay.
I think just about 30 minutes before coming to the studio, somebody called me. They want pork and yam because Fridays that's what they do. They go strictly by pork. But
once you're here, somebody's taking care of it for you.
No. We normally close by 2-3. Once we are done with the delivery.
Okay.
So then what it means is then we are done for the day.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah. Well, Marcel, let me come to you. You are in a different business. You're a businessman. You do business. You import stuff from China, right? Fundamentally, correct?
Yes.
And so you deal. I want to hear your view on the CD and the dollar, because you trade in that. Although you when you get to China, it has to be yen. But where do you buy your dollar?
In Ghana here. But before I proceed,
true,
I would like to say to everybody listening, all the staff here in multimedia and everybody who has joined us, connecting with us tonight, that one, listening to my sister and brothers here, and the many others who have similar predicaments, I would like to say that I am grateful I have a job. For everybody listening out there who has any kind of job, I would like to tell them that there is dignity in honest labor.
Yeah.
To your question, you know, when you hear stories like this, it makes you a little edgy. The other thing that it also does to you as an employer is this. When you have this wave hitting, you would want to also reposition your business such that you can move beyond barely surviving to thriving. For us who are mostly importing, because the core business is into apparel and branded marketing collaterals, as of today, the USD has hit 5 cedis. So this is what it means.
As of today?
Yes.
But I thought it was 4.8 or 9.
Yes. So this is what it means. If a company wanted to reposition themselves...
5 cedis?
Yes. If a company wanted to reposition themselves and came to us that, okay, as a business, Marcel Hughes, design and produce neckties and branded blazers and all of that. And we based the exchange rate on what it was probably just about...
A week ago it was 4.8?
Yes, or right. Just about a month ago.
A month ago.
By the time the company is able to mobilize some, what we call mobilization, or in the event they won't give and would have to go and borrow, by the time you add the cost of borrowing, and then start production in the Far East, ship it, get here, pay duties in USD equivalent. By the time you deliver, if you are not careful, you won't be able to break even. And that becomes a burden that now lies or rests on the head of the employer. The employer at the same time has a heart. I mean, listening to all of this, it's a little heavy.
How many people do you employ?
At the moment, 5.
Okay.
It's a little heavy because, you see, these are able young men and women who want to work. And now, because of all that is happening, that someone now would have to use a pseudonym that let's call her Coco.
Yeah.
It's not dignifying. It hits at us. But truth is that, this whole employment thing, it's a kind of system. So you have the enabler, that is the government. Then you have the employer, and then you have the employee. We all have our part to play so that this system runs with a lot of lubrication. So that the employer's role, I would speak for an employer. The employer's role is that, okay, if the conditions are ripe, we should be able to create a system that would outlive us, such that if we even moved on to other schedules, the system could be on auto run and everybody is taken care of. We are in September. People are going to school. My brother here said that he has a 14-year-old son or daughter.
School is reopening next week.
School is reopening.
You have to pay fees.
The amount of mobile money and all of that you'll be spending and all of that makes this situation that's dire. So sometimes, and this is because we have this platform, when I will now speak to the enabler, that is government, when government agencies come out and start launching things and cutting sorts and all of this, especially in the midst of all of these challenges, they come across as being insensitive. I mean, I watch on the television. I saw the president go to Beijing. The Chinese are very well skilled. They've studied us. Know that the president loves Oye by Max Amar, the one who wrote the song and all of that. They played the president, look very happy, confident. I could see press secretary to the president in a 3-piece suit with some gold chains around him, others in their bow ties going and all of that. The Chinese have planned very well for us, up to over 100 years. And this is what, on behalf of employers, I would say, Mr. President and then Terra, charity begins at home. You don't go and give all these incentives, tax breaks, and you will let them send the profit back to their home country and all of that. What about the poultry farmer at Akachi? What about the one in probably BBNE or somewhere BA, whose farms has been attacked by a fall army worm? You understand? So let us see these practical, concrete steps here. Sometimes some of the things they say are so wow and all of that, and I think we are just playing to the gallery. Now my concern is this: how does interest rate come down? You bring cars in, and then let me speak to cars. For instance, maybe someone wants to go into a project, farming or something. The terrain that the person operates, or even a journalist who has to do a lot of cross-country and all of that, the terrain will require that he would need probably a 3.0, a 3.5 car. You slap these with now luxury taxes. And then the politician that made the laws, their V8 and 4-wheel drive, we fuel them. They don't pay these luxury taxes. You understand? So the time is coming when the citizen will sit down, and anytime a government official or functionary just comes with the siren and all of that, it's getting offensive. Yeah. Let us see practical steps. Let the CD drop. When the CD drops, we don't need press conferences to know that this is going to help us.
How is business with China and importing to Ghana?
Well, now if you go to, particularly because a lot of Ghanaians go to Gwangju. If you go to Gwangju, that's the capital of the Guangdong province, Gwangju is very empty. There were times where you see Ethiopian Airways very full, Kenya was full.
Where Africans?
Yes, everybody going to, the commerce world.
Okay.
Everybody going and importing and sending things and all. But now because of the dollar rate, people would prefer to put their money or into an investment instrument and just think about themselves and their families.
Which then has if you do
so
that,
it's more difficult there. So now the goods won't come for the middleman who also has to retail and put a little on and all of that.
In spite of all that you say, you're not thinking about laying off any worker that you've employed, right?
We particularly, because we deal with marketing collaterals and designs and productions, the factories are out there in the Far East. Okay. So the production hub is not here.
Yeah, okay.
But the core staff that keeps the office running and all is not that much. But even then, it hasn't been very easy paying.
Well, you can pay their salary.
It is challenging.
What's making it challenging?
One, when you have delivered on your jobs, you then realize that even the institutions that have to pay, the payments delay. Sometimes you would have had to take some facility from the bank to take care of production, payment of duties, and all of that. So at the end of the day, the cash flow, you have money, but it's on paper. So though you could be moved by empathy and say that, come join our team, we have room for this and all of that. I mean, how do you pay? Because when you go to Saturdays now, at the Social Security Court, they go to court on Saturdays. You see a lot of employers being dragged there because paying of state contributions is becoming difficult. So sincerely, the employer is also heavily burdened. All this severance and all of that, it's because there's a difficulty.
Yeah. And Coco, you heard that. I'll go to Seth shortly, who's connecting with us on the phone line. He has some insight into what the labor implications of this is. You are expecting that the GN media they haven't paid your there are going to be deductions to your provident.
Yes.
Okay, but have they paid that yet?
They are yet to do that.
They are yet to do that. But there's a severance package that's just a month's pay.
Yes.
Okay, but that hasn't paid.
That came with the August salary.
Salary. Okay.
Yes. And after, it was 3 days after we receive our letters.
Okay. So now you definitely disagree with the deductions and the cuts to the.
Sure.
Okay.
I disagree. I think in this instance, I'm not the one that said I'm resigning.
Yeah.
You are the one that
took the
said
decision to.
You are laying me off. So
give me my full
severance.
my full.
I am due.
Okay.
So that we'll all go in peace.
Yes. Let me speak to Seth. He's a labor consultant. Joins us on the telephone line. Connects with us now. Hello, Seth. Thank you for your time here on GhanaConnect. Hello, Seth.
Hello.
Thank you very much for your time for connecting here on GhanaConnect.
Thank you for having me.
So let me start with you on the concern we just had there from Coco. She's just been let go by GN Media, and she says her provident fund is going to be cut, and she's also entitled to only a month's pay. Correct? She's obviously unhappy about that. She says you decided to terminate my contract. I'm entitled to my full provident benefits, but she's not going to get that. She says, is that allowed under the labor law?
Thank you. It's a surprise hearing this kind of package she's been given, because Provident Fund cannot be cut in any way or any percentage withheld. It's their due. And in fact, even the Provident Fund is not taxable. So it's a little surprising. I guess from the beginning, the process that I welcome in her narration is that they are having to leave was communicated to them in a Deba. In other places, no such thing happened. So I was expecting that this good practice would have been followed through. Yeah. But again, also, GN Media is under obligation to have reported this exercise that it was undertaking, brought to the attention of the Labour Department in accordance with the Labour Act, and particularly Section 65 of the Labour Act, which talks about redundancy. And the reason for that exercise, the persons to be affected, were all to have been communicated to the Chief Labour Officer not later than 3 months before the contemplated action. So there is a matter to follow with GM Media. Yeah.
And we're also learning from the dispatch riders who provided services for Unibank that they have not been paid their last month's salary, August salary, and they've been let go. Is that acceptable? Is that allowed?
No, it's not acceptable. You see, the banks were amalgamated, and it went with all assets and liabilities. Now, it's then for the new management to determine which services or persons it can get on with moving forward. And there again, this should have been brought to the attention of the Chief Labour Officer. One was expecting the Consolidated Bank to do a quick staff audit. Once it determines which branches to keep, it will necessarily go with which employees to disembark. But all this need to be done in a humane manner, because if from the very beginning the workers had demanded conditions under which they were transiting to Consolidated Bank, the bank would have collapsed at best. It would have crash landed. So it's important to recognize the good faith that the workers exhibited, and this needs reciprocation from the management. But what is going on is that it's not right at all.
From the two cases you've addressed, what avenues of redress are available to these workers?
Well, they can report to the Chief Labour Officer. They can report to the Labour Commission. They can seek advice with unions and labor think tanks, consultancies. Yes, so they have the right of redress.
Okay, I'm grateful that you joined us, Seth. And I just been joined on the telephone line. Connecting with us is Victoria Asma, the General Manager, Pensions Gold Coast Trustees, who speaks for the GN group. Joins us on the telephone line right now. Hello, Victoria.
Hello.
Great. Thanks for connecting. I'm told you have an intervention.
Yes, I do.
Please go on.
Following the program, and I'd just like to make some clarification on the comments from the GN media staff. Coco is the name, I guess. Okay, so I'd like to make it clear that under no circumstance are we cutting people's pension funds. I'm responsible for the management of pensions, and the scheme rules makes it very clear that if your offer is being terminated or you are being laid off, you get both employer and employee contribution as your benefits package. And that's exactly what we are doing. Now, the 15% tax that she is talking about is not within our domain. For pension funds, when you are contributing, it is not taxable, as Seth says. And we all know that. And so when you are making those contributions, you are eligible to enjoy a tax waiver. Now, the pension law with which we work says that if you do not stay in that scheme for 10 years before withdrawal, then you pay back to government the tax that you have enjoyed. And so, obviously, for people who are not in the scheme for 10 years, we are paying back to government what has been enjoyed in the past, because government gives you the tax waiver on condition that you are going to be in the scheme for 10 years. And so we are not cutting anybody's pension benefits whatsoever. Every person who has been laid off or whose contract has been terminated is getting both employer and employee contribution, even though they are not vested, because that is the scheme rule. They are not resigning. We are letting them go, and so you pay them everything that they are entitled to. However, we pay back to government what has been enjoyed.
Now, I just have a copy of the termination letter that was given to Coco, and in that termination letter, the only thing you stated, and this was signed by Frederick Barmer, the only thing that was stated, he's the head recruitment and selection group in Dum. The only thing that was stated that she will benefit from is that she will be paid 1 month's salary in lieu of notice of thereafter stop the payment of your salary. There was no mention that he's going to be paid her full provident fund that is due her.
That is fine. Every employee, as part of your onboarding document, you get a copy of the scheme rules. So every employee has a copy of the scheme rules, which we expected that would have been read. And once the layoffs happened on the 27th, that was just last week, we quickly got a list from HR, and we have been working on this giving statements to some of their employees so that we start paying them. And so in the scheme rules, every employee knows. Even though in the letter she may not have seen that, but in her submission, she made it clear that since she was not the one who decided to resign, she was expecting that she will be paid both employer and employee. She only would have gotten that knowledge from the scheme rules that are made available.
Okay.
And so every employee has the scheme rules. And so even if that is not mentioned in your letter, I mean, the scheme rules talk specifically about your pensions, and you know that is your pensions benefit.
Okay.
So I just like to give her some clarity, not only to her, but to everybody else who is listening and thinking that we are doing something really weird, that nobody is cutting any employee's pension benefit. They are going to get their full benefit, but what must go to government will go back to government.
Okay, so just a second, because Coco wants to interact with you briefly. Coco, yes, go on.
We wanted to find out if what she just said concerning our provident fund has been communicated to the branch managers or to the department that oversees where we take our package. If that was communicated to them before our letters were given to us.
Coco, this is a scheme rule that governs the pension scheme that we operate here. And you, as a member of the scheme, have a copy. All right? This was sent to all users. And I do not know if this Coco is Coco Gansa, then I do know that you've come to my office to actually submit your claim request.
No, Coco is actually not her real name. We're just using that name for the purpose of protecting her identity. But just answer the fundamental question she asked.
Yes, so the fundamental question which I'm saying is that every employee does have a scheme rule, all right? And if you have not read it, then maybe that is a different question because you have not read it. But as far as I am concerned, I sent it myself. The HR team sent it, and this was sent since when? I mean, as far back. And any new person that comes on board, as part of your onboarding document, it is handed over to you. And so everyone in the HR team who was a part of this process also were aware that obviously you will get your tier 3. As for the tier 2, by law, you are not able to get it until you are retiring. Or when you are moving to a new scheme, then that is migrated, what we call porting. That is ported to the new scheme you are moving to. That is really, pensions law. I have no hand in that, or we have no hand at GN in that. But if we are talking about the tier 3, then this is what you get, both employer and employee. And everybody in the process is aware. And I am saying, the point I'm emphasizing even is that every employee has a handbook. And so you know what your rights are.
Okay, so
those handbooks. Let me talk. Those handbooks were not given to any employee, especially from the media side. I can speak for my colleagues. We haven't seen even the HR manual. We haven't seen it before. It was communicated that it was sent. I follow up to our HR rep in our office. It wasn't given to us.
Okay, but fundamentally, you say that Victoria, that they will get their provident fund paid in full.
Not handed over to people in hard, but a soft copy was sent to everyone by HR.
Okay,
and I followed up.
No problem.
And I'm sure about
fundamentally, they will pay their provident fund in full.
Fundamentally, they will be. It is their right.
It's their right, and they'll get it. I'm grateful, Victoria, that you join us to clarify. You've been sharing your thoughts on this, especially if you're affected. Let me hear from you. Yeah, Ernest joins me with some of your views on our social media pages. And that's what I can say.
So Frank from Teshi says, I think that the workers should think outside the box. That will help them instead of complaining and putting your burden on government. Blind trade or any talent will bring you some money. Losing your job is hectic, I understand. This one says government must be up and doing. We need jobs. Another one here says NAPCO is employing 55,000 people. Government is not sleeping. And this one also says government must come clean. We need to help these former workers of the banks to receive their severance packages. They deserve it.
Something my colleague, lawyer and journalist, sent me this good point of law. It says a basic but critical point of law worthy of note, as I can imagine. The expectation of these affected workers is that by our Labour Act, when workers lose their jobs as a result of an entity's introduction of major changes in its program, production, organization, structures, or technology, those losing their jobs are entitled to redundancy severance package. That's Samson's contribution.
And one final one. This one says, I'm confident government will arrest the dollar and cage it with just one key in its hands. When we that will be after we finish building the National Cathedral.
Okay, I'm grateful that you joined. Let me take a quick final thoughts and let's wrap up on this all important conversation. So tell me, from what have you been given any promise of when this will be resolved for you at dispatch riders and the August salary at least? Have you been told anything?
Because we've been given promise of getting the pay.
When?
Today.
Okay.
Coupled with threats.
What threats?
The threat is that you need to be reporting to work. You need to be reporting to the office every day. For instance, today we were asked to come for the pay at the office, not through our banks.
Okay.
And those who did not come in the morning to write their names today, you will not get your pay.
I see. Those who wrote your names, did you get your pay?
About 5 of them, and some of them are getting half pay.
Half pay, not full pay.
We got information from reliable source that CBG have given our boss full payment. So
I see.
Every worker should go home with full payment.
Yeah.
They're getting half.
Through our accounts.
Through our accounts.
And what they are getting, the half is given to them on table, not to their accounts.
I see.
Yeah.
Yes.
The dispatch riders that we are about
50?
40, below 40.
Okay.
It was just almost about 7 people who receive half paid on
not
table.
Pay. Okay. Yeah.
Half paid on table.
Fundamentally, pay us in full what we do, what we worked for.
Yes.
Okay, we'll see how this gets resolved. But I'm grateful that you all connected with us. All the best, Raymond, in your business. You've employed 2 people. 5 people you've employed. Please keep them employed. Keep them employed. It's part of the CDs and the dollar problems. Coco, I hope you got some clarity. She says that you'll be paid, so don't worry. So if you're not paid, please get back to us. That's GhanaConnect for you. My name is Evan Spencer. Connect again next week.
In this part of the world, we rise early, way before the sunrise. We plan, we pray, we prep, just so we are a step ahead. We keep the conversations going to stay connected to family, friends, and business. They say, Agrobeswa Ifrianopa. Start your day bright with MTN Kokroko. For only 1 Ghana cedi, you can enjoy 400 megabytes of data and 30 minutes of free MTN to MTN calls every day from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. everywhere you go. Dial *138# to buy MTN Kokroko bundle now.